Hi, so I will be asking how will defunding the police impact Minneapolis economy as measured through macroeconomic indicators? And I find this question worthwhile to investigate because as more community members are calling to restructure the institutionalized department that does currently exist because it is harmful to many community members, how the city council and local government respond to this. So I will be using an economic lens, specifically macroeconomic indicators, to figure out how spending will change, budget cuts, and everything that comprises of a city budget will change as a whole if the department is defunded. So I will be using a macroeconomic lens. So we have price stability. So inflation rate in general has been at a good target range, but due to the pandemic, everything is a little rocky in the economy. So unemployment rate is pretty high at 10.5%. And the number of police officers in general have been at a consistent range of 800, which costs $184.5 million to fund. And economic growth, you can see here what makes up the city's GDP and investment. I could not find the information to that. So we're looking at the chart. So property tax is where the department gets most of its funding from and taxes as a whole. So through the eyes of a taxpayer, the economy will look like it's changing because they're being taxed more. However, through the lens of a police officer, the economy is worse off because they are not being funded the same amount of money. So their department as a whole, as you can see, is being cut as compared to 2019, 2020, where it was being increased by a lot. So defunding the police is not a /0 in every budget that the police is part of. Instead, it's a slow decrease. So we see salaries and wages. So instead of 800 people employed, it's going to be 770. So that's a really small amount of people that are going to be losing their jobs. And capital equipment is 100% change. So there's not going to be any more money spent in that category. So overall, there's a negative 7.5% change. So with that $14 million, instead of just letting it float, it will become a surplus for other social welfare programs and fund those programs. So social welfare programs that the mayor is hoping to instill is a better 911 program, and also a better mental health program where if someone calls 911 for a mental health emergency instead of a police officer, which usually turns violent, it will be a mental health professional who was formerly a police officer. So it's kind of ironic and contradictory. So in general, the economy will not really change with defunding the police department because the money is still being spent. It's just going to be spent elsewhere. So limitations. So I was really only looking through what is being spent, only because that is what is given to me through public data. A lot of other things needed to answer this question through a macroeconomic lens was not there. So investment, that being one of them. And there's going to be a legislative lag. So this may not even occur because the council members have to approve of this budget. And a lot of them are already saying no. So defunding the department is really not being done, as many council members want more funding and just questioning their stance on what defunding the department looks like. And this is a slow process. So this may not, as I said before, this may not occur and this may change. So what the mayor is proposing, a lot of people are saying that it's not enough for their community, and a lot of people are saying that it's too much. So listening to both sides of the debate is putting pressure on council members and the mayor to do something. And what actually will happen, we don't know yet because there's such a slow process. So in using the economy, one can only guess and assume how that will impact the economy. But for now, I'm just saying that it won't really impact the economy in a way that's super dramatic and radicalized. And these are my sources. Thank you.